That was interesting for me.
Mm.
It was different to having no thought.
Present, present. That's my word today.
What was your word?
It's present.
Present.
Today. Using, we use someone else's definition of it. There's curious openness and acceptance.
Mm.
My word for the day is detach.
Mm.
If we do detach, we get to the present.
So I'm going to have two words. One is surrender and the other is embrace.
Hmm. I had a feeling you would go with surrender.
Sorry, Hans, could you say what you said again, please?
I had a feeling you would go with surrender. That was why I took detached.
Thank you, Mr. Gentleman.
I wasn't gonna steal your word because I heard you say it earlier, and I thought, yeah, you're gonna use that word, so I'm gonna go with detached, the word I used for it.
Oh,
Excuse me.
The word that keeps coming to me is just not really a goofy word, but it's like, why is this word coming? It's just the word stop. And I
Stop.
think, okay, why stop? And as I'm sitting here, I'm looking around and it's like, oh, just to observe, just to notice, just to do nothing. Just do nothing. Only the eyes are moving. I think it's just probably from the silence too, because I was just sitting there and just, it was like I didn't move, but my mind went off and I don't know where. In its own silence, it stopped. Or the rest of the body just stopped. Anyways, there's my goofy word.
Stop is often the word just before start, and it's often the word after start again. It's part of the frequency. I was sure when you're gonna say a goofy word, you were gonna go with something like noodling or something like that again.
That word kind of stuck around, didn't it?
Yeah. I like new words, and that was a great word.
Thank you.
Gosh, Heinz, I don't think of how many languages you speak and how many words you know.
Ooh.
It's a lot.
Yeah, so a new word is a great thing. Bring something new to the whole thing, so I can be noodling with everything in the background. And then I can take all the languages and make a confluence of them all. So with another great word.
That comes from geography.
But I do see how the languages fade a little bit. The speaking doesn't fade so much, but I was trying to read German the other day. Oh my God. Haven't done
Yes.
that in 33 years, read German, so not that great at reading it.
I know they have these words that are like 30 letters long. It's just one word, but it means a whole sentence in English.
Yeah, and the V's are F's.
Yes. Yes.
Like Weltanschauung. I think that's the word, which is worldview. But it's at a very deep, because it points to a deep level. I was thinking, Annette, your stop is like the pause,
Yeah.
or it brings the pause, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which allows for the present.
It's like when you read stop and smell the flowers.
Mm.
It's turning into a different perspective when you stop.
I'm always so surprised and amazed at how being in the silence totally dismantles my experience of time.
Mhm. And from others' perspective, they might say, well, you're just sitting in silence. Well, then you're doing nothing. Yeah, but they can't imagine how much we actually get done by doing nothing.
Mm. And how powerful that nothing is.
Yeah. Nothing is way more connected to everything than something is.
Mhm. I was thinking of power and Jesse's 5 words yesterday with the P's, and how much or how different, we spoke about this yesterday as well, how differently people interpret the notion of what power is. And for me, true power comes from integration, which is very different from dominance.
Yeah, they don't have much power if it's looked at, well, let's test your power. Put you alone on a deserted island. Then let's see how much power you got without your military behind you.
Mm-hmm.
From someone who actually knows themselves, they would start the instant they arrived there, go out and look for whatever they needed to survive the first day.
Mm-hmm.
They may command an army, but we command ourselves.
Mm.
And that's true power. Like you said,
I would
another
agree.
word, power comes from within.
Mm. It's being aware of the unconscious that drives behavior. And the more you unpack that unconscious, the more power you gain.
It's a depth below the ego.
Yeah.
Which when we stop the ego, slow things down, silence without judgment.
That's watching for the ego again, right?
Like diving beneath the water to watch the actual size of the iceberg. It's not just those 10% that's above water that has a nice mountain-like look. No, below it's the base of the mountain.
Yep.
But I guess that's the mentality we've been taught with. When we're climbing, example, when some people climb Mount Everest, they are focused, they are all talking about reaching the top. They're not talking about the whole way up to the top.
Mm.
They're missing the journey.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the top that's going to test you. It's the journey that's going to test you.
Mm. And that journey is both up and down.
Yeah.
Being peace.
Yeah, everybody talks about having peace, but none of them are being at peace with themselves.
Mm.
That would probably change a lot, but if everybody was ordered to sit down and listen to the silence an hour each day.
Imagine if we were taught to do that at school.
Yeah, I saw somebody who put it into school instead of saying go outside the door. They were ordered up in the corner on a mat to sit down and meditate, while the other was doing whatever they were doing. And they were actually learning at the same time as they were sitting there because they were listening in the silence. So way more effective, they found. So they were gonna put it into school. One I talked with in Australia, she's a leader of the foreigners that come there to go to school. And they put she suggested meditation, and they're putting it into the school system now, I think.
Yeah, there are some schools that do it. It's great. Really great.
Yeah. And if we look at the young today, they're way more rootless than we were. We were allowed to walk around and do whatever we want to, but at least we had some sort of attachment to the system because normally one of the parents were home and the other one was working. So now both parents are working and children are left totally alone. No one teaches them right from wrong or whatever. And the parents expect the schools to teach them that. That's not what the schools are there for. They're not there to teach them right from wrong. They're there to teach them 1 + 1 is 2.
Well, this has been a very good start to my day. Thank you very much for your time, everyone. I enjoyed listening to you and spending some time with you, and have a great day.
It was great to be with you, Annette. Have a great day.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Jesse, with your word of curious that you brought in with present, what came to mind to me also is that curiosity has got a very different energy to investigation, and just the different, the different energies to it. And the reason why I was thinking about that is because in training and and working in a number of different fields where you use questions, how much further people get when they hold those questions in the energy of curiosity, and when they hold curiosity in their observation of things, as opposed to when they are looking for evidence, because there's a specific outcome that they are going for. So it just brought that to mind for me.
There's so many different levels of words.
Mm-hmm.
You ask somebody about curiosity, they would say, curiosity killed the cat.
Mm-hmm.
And others would say, how are you ever going to learn anything if you aren't curious about it?
Mm.
Something my grandfather taught me. Well, the truth shall set you free, but the truth is also not easy to hear. Or what is the, I don't know what is said in English, that saying. Where so it depends on the people who you are telling it to, he said. A lot of that stuff has come up over the last year. Oh, it's all about perspective. And if somebody sees me in a wrong light, well, it has nothing to do with me and everything to do with them and their belief system. That's one of the hard ones I'm teaching my son. Oh my God, he asks, why can't I? Why? And I say, you're 18 years old. You haven't had the experience yet to just say, oh, so what? Yeah. They're so mindful about what other people think about them.
Mm-hmm. Because there's still that experience of needing to build a peer group.
Yeah. And the fear of stepping on somebody's toes. And I thought, well, if somebody wants to hit me, I just tell them, hit me, and I'll go to the police afterward, and they'll put you in jail. I just put the example up, but how can you do that? Because I don't really care if they actually hit me. It's just a moment. If I cared about all the stuff that's possible that could happen, I wouldn't be going anywhere. And I still rarely go out, but I wouldn't be going anywhere at all. Because a car might jump the curb and hit me on the sidewalk. It happens, so why not to me? But I told him also when I was his age, 18, oh, I was this, that, everything, because we still have the programs of be afraid of that, don't do that, this, that, and it's only been over the last year I sort of just detached and surrendered. Life happens, if I want it or not.
Mm.
And when people are driving their car, they say, well, I drive so safe, so I don't need a big car. Yeah, you might drive so safely and everything, but there's still a million other cars on the road that can drive like idiots. So get yourself a safe car. That's my point of view when people say, well, it's big and it's more expensive in gasoline. Yeah, but it's way safer if somebody crashes into it compared to a small car. I saw a picture on Facebook, I think. I don't know if it was a big Buick or something like that, and then a truck was totally tipped over, and the front had a little uh, damage on the Buick or something like that, and then the wheel was turned around and it just sit above it. That's why we call it a muscle car.
Mm.
Looked like it got smashed directly into the truck driving across the, what's it called? One where for two lanes go one way and two other lanes go the other way. So it looked like it had clipped it totally in the back of the truck, and even the front of the truck had tipped over. It was lying totally on its side. I just, whoa, that little damage to that car compared to what it done to that big truck.
Mm.
That's what I talk about when I'm talking about cars. Safety, number one.
Mm.
Why I like Volvo. Volvo is a real safe car. But I would probably like a 69, 70 Buick or Camaro or whatever, much more because it was way thicker metal back then. It was when cars were cars.
Mm.
But you can take one of those that's been restored right now and buy a totally new car and put both of them in a garage for 30 years and go out there. And the old muscle car will be standing there just as beautiful as it was when you put it in there. Just needs to be polished and dusted off and everything. But the other, though it has been in a garage, time will take its toll on those thin plates. And I know it has absolutely nothing to do with us. They have changed that. It's to be cost efficient. Make the same amount of car for half the price.
Mm.
And then sell it for twice as much. Yeah, that's their policy. Let's see how expensive a car had gotten today. How expensive everything has got.
Yeah.
I also think that would be part of the reset. Turning back every price and everything to normalize it again. So it's not about the stockholder. It's about the consumers.
complete this morning.
Yeah. Thank you for exploring the
Thank you,
nothingness.
Jeff, so much. Thank you, Heinz.
Thanks, you
Yes.
guys.
And
Have a great
exploring how much
day.
power it is. Yeah, you both have a blessed day. Love and hugs.
Thanks.
Mm. Mm.